37. Bill. Confessing to someone that this part of me was a coward that had not been something I was planning on doing today, or indeed ever in my life. But here I was, looking at Constance and knowing that the truth was not necessary in this moment. It was official. I'm scared all the time now, I said. I think I've always been a little scared of what my future held, of being out of control, of the world, ever enough to feel like when you read the scary book, but always there. Constance nodded. Now I feel like running away all the time. I have run away. I ran away today out the tunnel. I tried everything to make us run away from Brandt. I stopped and my throat closed suddenly. I felt like I was about to cry. I couldn't do that now. Now was at the time. I focused my attention on a little visual filled with the blood. No, it wasn't blood. I knew that. But it looked like it. It also scared me. I turned around in my hand, watched the liquid run from top to bottom, oozing, and I felt it slowly over and over again. I'm so angry, said Constance. I'm sorry, I replied it, apologizing for my confession, for my bad behavior. I feel terrible. I'm such a horrible person. No, I'm always angry, she said. Like you, I have always been this need to be heard, to shout out, to feel understood. It was a lot. I felt small relief, and she didn't judge me. She had her own concerns. Not everything was about me. So, should we take this? I asked it, staring at the visual file. I didn't really want to. The red, the consciousness, it all made me feel sick to my stomach. I looked up at her. She shook her head. I don't know if it's safe. It cleaned my gloves, but I can't do these effects. She paused. Do we have to do these effects? Of course we do. I said I couldn't live like this much longer. The battle of not to be freeing every moment was getting harder and harder. You must want to be yourself again, Constance said, looking at her lap, her hands tightly grasping the cover of her bed. I think this is more self than I ever been. She looked up at me. She looked scared, almost terrified. She was shaking, and I couldn't understand why. Isn't that what you're experiencing? Just a magnified version of herself? You won't lose yourself entirely. Bill, shut up, Constance said. No one in my life except my father ever said that to me. It made me freeze in place, hurt but also frightened. Stay perfectly still, she said. I realized that she wasn't looking at me. She was looking just past me, just over my head, behind me. I heard it dripping then, like a leaking fatuate. Drip, drip, drip. I heard it just by my ear. I felt nothing but pure terror. I couldn't feel my hands or my feet or my heartbeat. All I felt was a white-hot brightness inside me, a paralyzing, unpromising level of fear that I never felt in my life. Constance rose very slowly, reaching down as she did, staring at whoever stood behind me. It's okay, she said softly, but not to me, to it. I thought of the black ink under my chair in the corner of my room, the face outside the window. It was the monster. My mouth went dry. Bill, you have to stay still. Well, that wasn't hard instruction to follow. Hi, she said with a warm gentleness to the thing behind me. We met last night, didn't we? The drip sound slushed behind me now, like something was moving. Don't be frightened, she said. I wanted to laugh at that. Whoever was behind me was not the one that was frightened. I'm Constance. This is Bill. Whoever is behind me made a strange, soft moan sound. Are you hurting? Do you need help? She started walking toward it. I held my breath, terrified at the sound that analyzed the monster. The dripping behind me got quieter as it was backing away. You can stand now, Bill, but very slowly, she said, not making eye contact, and continued to move slowly towards us. I wasn't sure I could, but I also knew I couldn't sit here and with my back to the monsters much longer. With all that will I could find, I forced the fear down, like swallowing burning bile in your throat. I slowly stood, my legs shaking as I did. I made it to stand, then I turned, keeping my head lowered. I didn't want to make eye contact with the beast. Finally, I raised my head slowly and saw for the first time a figure, feet first, legs, then body, then head. It was a figure dripping in ink. as if the ink pot had taken a human form. It has no eyes, no nose, no mouth. The ink dripped continuously on the floor, and then was resorbed to the journey all over again. It stood there, near the wall, near the shadows. It seemed to be staring at us. The white-hot fear I felt faded slightly, but now I could feel my heart thumping on my chest again, the panic rise, the desire to charge toward the door and run out of the apartment. "What do you want from us?" I asked it. I wanted to sound calm like Constance, but my voice quavered it. It moved again and lifted up one of its inking arms, raised it at us, a finger materialized from the ink. It pointed at me, right at me. "It's going to kill me," I said. I was lightheaded. I didn't want to die. "You want Bill?" asked Constance. The figure almost seemed to shake its head slowly. It moved to side, then the whole figure glided forward towards us, toward me. It moved faster than expected it would, and then stopped inches from my face. I could see the ink now, flowing in and out, and around. I was mesmerized by it. Suddenly, the monster grabbed my wrist. I called out in pain. I held my wrist hard and raised my hand particularly to the floor. How could the ink have no substance still had substance to grab, to squeeze, to hurt? "Oh my goodness! Bill, it wants the vial!" Constance's eyes were wide in wonder. "Is that what you want? The solution?" Monster turned his head to look at hers, despite having no eyes. "Give it to him, Bill." I held my wrist fast. I couldn't open my hand. My fear was keeping me grip tight around the glass. "I can't. I want to, but—" Constance was beside me then, in my ear at a harsh whisper. "Do it. Don't be angry. I want to." I rolled my hand to open. I couldn't. "Sorry," she said, understanding, then remembering the recent confession. "I'm sorry. You can do this. You are more than just your fear, just like I'm more than my anger." I closed my eyes then. I could still see the monster in my mind. I opened them again. Looked right at the creature. It didn't want to hurt me. It just wanted the vial. Just let go. Just let go. Just let go. My hand opened suddenly, and Constance gasped as the vial fell. The monster caught it. It moved fast. It humanly turned away from us and started to breathe again, lightheaded from the air flowing through my body. We watched as the monster stood there, its back to us. As it consumed the vial, the glass and all its mouth should have been. "What happens now?" whispered Constance. I shook my head. Words were not formed. The monster suddenly ceased at great pain, bending over and against the wall. It fell to the ground and rolled onto its back, spamming and jerking around. I wondered if it's dying. I realized I wouldn't mind if it did, just disappeared altogether, like strain being erased. There was a few more violent motions, and then the creature crawled into the fetal position, lying on its side like a small child. I didn't care. I wasn't going to feel sorry for it. Then it released a loud moan, a wail, a cry long piercing, was in great pain, then pop. Just like that, just like Brandt. The creature exploded, ink flying everywhere. I turned to protect my face. I held my hands. Then stillness. "Oh my God," said Constance beside me. "Is it gone?" I asked it, not wanting to turn and look. "No," she said, but it said it in a way that made me furious. Despite my horror, I turned to look. On the ground lay the figure, a person. No winged creature, no monster. They moved again slightly and rolled over onto their back. "Oh my God," said Constance again, this time bringing her hand to her mouth. "Knock, knock. Who's there?" "Brandt."